come up because what they did to the human.
What's a historical fact that you had to learn on your own and not in school?
So I recently visited some of the slave castles in Ghana and I was sick to my stomach. About 100 to 150 people were forced into these slave dungeons. Once they reached the slave dungeons, the human waste that they had to sit in and stand in was about knee deep. And when I say human waste, I mean the poop, the pee, the throw up, the blood, the menstrual blood. All of that they had to stand in, and everything else that comes out of the human body. Not only that, they had to breathe in and inhale all of those toxins because there was no ventilation in those dungeons. Mind you, they weren't just sitting in there for days or maybe weeks. They were sitting in there for up to 3 months straight. The conditions were so bad that even as I stood there hundreds of years later, I can still smell the human waste. I mean, I was sick to my stomach. Y'all, was people up in there coughing. Those tiny little lines up there, those are not carvings done by an object. Those were done by people's nails digging into the stone wall because they were trying to desperately escape the death dungeon. Men who fought back were put into those death dungeons. And let's say they put about 10 of those men in that death dungeon. They wouldn't pull out the dead bodies until the last person died. That skull and that X represented death. It meant once you went in there, you were not coming back out alive. And also, there were churches built up over these slave dungeons, and as women and men were screaming, these so-called holy people were sitting above them worshiping God. Not only that, they specifically put these churches over the dungeons to represent heaven and HE double hockey sticks. Part 2 will be coming up because what they did to the women